Other is our maid. And then he smiled, other is our maid. And then he smiled. And then the entire room laughed. My 7-year-old daughter, sitting right next to me, tugged on my sleeve and whispered, "Mommy is being a maid bad?" That was the last Thanksgiving I stayed silent because what I said next in front of every single guest completely changed everything. My father has not hosted a holiday dinner since. But before I tell you exactly what I said that night, you need to understand what led up to that moment and why the man my father spent the whole evening trying to impress was the one person in that room who already knew my true fortune. Before we dive in, take a moment to like and subscribe if this story resonates. Let me know in the comments where you are watching from. My name is Ann Lowe. I am 32 years old. I am a single mom, and for the past 7 years, my family has called me the maid. It all started 7 years ago, the week I returned home with nothing but 2 suitcases and my daughter Chloe, who was only 2. The drive from Charleston to my parents' house took nearly 3 hours with Chloe crying the entire way. She did not understand why her father was not in the car. Honestly, neither did I. My ex-husband had left on a Monday, emptied our joint account on Tuesday, and filed from his mother's address by Wednesday. By Thursday, I was standing on my parents' porch, holding a diaper bag and what little dignity I had left. My father opened the door, looked at the suitcases, then at me, then at Chloe. "The guest cottage is empty," he said. "This is temporary. Do not make it a habit." No hug, no, "Are you okay?" Just terms. The cottage was tiny, only 350 square feet, with a kitchenette, 1 bedroom and a bathroom where the shower ran cold after 5 minutes. But it was on my parents' land, and there was no lease, no paperwork, just my father's word. At the time, I did not think that mattered. Within the week, I was cleaning houses, babysitting, washing dishes, making $20 an hour cash while Chloe napped under a neighbor's watchful eye. I scrubbed bathtubs, polished floors, organized pantries for women who had the life I thought I would have by now. Meanwhile, my older sister, Victoria, finished her residency in cardiology. My parents hosted a dinner for 18 people. I arrived late because I had just finished waxing a marble countertop at a client's home. My father, of course, took the opportunity. He raised his glass, called out my name, and said, "Anne is busy scrubbing someone else's floors." The room laughed. Victoria looked away. I sat down silently. That was the first time, but it would not be the last. The jokes had started long before I moved home. Growing up, Victoria had tutors, summer camps, college visits. She was set to go to Yale. When she got accepted, my father took out a loan and covered everything without hesitation. When it was my turn, he said, "Community college is enough for someone like you." I still hear those words whenever I close my eyes. I worked my way through Blue Ridge Community College, waitressing, babysitting, cleaning the church on Sundays. I graduated with honors. Nobody came to the ceremony. Every holiday, my parents would introduce us the same way. "This is Victoria, our doctor," followed by polite applause. Then they would almost casually add, "And this is Anne." Not Anne, who graduated with honors. Not Anne raising a daughter on her own. Just Anne. My mother never corrected them. She would sigh, press her fingers to her temples, and say, "Your father only wants the best." No one knew that while Victoria's school cost $420,000, my father only covered half. The rest was loans. But at the dinner table, my image had already been decided, or so they thought. By my second year back, I had cleaned over 70 homes. I noticed a gap in property management. Many estates in the area were neglected by their absentee owners. I filed for an LLC, built a website while Chloe slept, and started Ann Lowe Estate Management. I landed my first 3 contracts that month. Small, but real. I told my mother excitedly, "Mom, I just signed 3 clients. I am building something." Patricia nodded absently. "That is nice, honey. Victoria just gave a lecture in Boston." I realized then that no matter what I built, it would never matter at that table. Months later, I received a call from someone unexpected. Gloria, my father's estranged sister, who everyone said had disgraced the family. "I heard about you from a client," she said. "I want to invest in your company." $15,000 for equity, not a loan. She understood that someone had to believe in me. I accepted. I hired 2 employees, formalized operations, ran the company professionally. 2 years later, I managed 15 properties and 12 full-time employees. I was still living in that tiny cottage, still technically on my father's land. That was when he reminded me. At Sunday dinner, he said casually, "That land out back is worth something now. I may need to rearrange things." My stomach dropped. "How?" I asked. "Do not worry. Just know nothing is permanent," he said. Weeks later, I received a magazine feature highlighting my business. For the first time, someone outside my family acknowledged my success. I kept it quiet. Only Gloria knew. Then came the news. My father had invited a major developer, Jonathan Crane, to Thanksgiving. He had been trying for months to finalize the sale of his land, unaware that I was managing some of his properties. Thanksgiving morning, I dressed Chloe in a green dress. I entered the kitchen as usual, apron on, preparing the turkey. Victoria arrived, flawless as always. Guests trickled in. Then Jonathan Crane and his wife arrived. My father beamed, unaware of what he had set up. Dinner began. The table was full. 14 people, polished silverware, candles lit, a perfect performance. My father raised his glass. "To Victoria, our successful daughter, we are so proud." Applause followed. Then he looked at me. "And Anne, our maid." A few forced laughs. Under the table, Chloe grabbed my hand. "Mommy, is being a maid bad?" Her voice was small, brave, honest. The room froze. Every fork paused. Every breath held. I looked at Chloe, then at Jonathan, who studied my face with recognition. I stood up. The chair scraped the floor. Every head turned. I looked at my daughter and said, "Chloe, being a maid is not bad. Honest work is good work, but that is not all I do." I paused. "I manage 15 luxury estates. I have 12 employees. My company made over $2 million last year. That is the work I am proud of." The silence was deafening. My father's smile vanished. Patricia's hands went to her mouth. Victoria's eyes widened. Jonathan Crane stood. "Ann Lowe," he said, "you are the owner of Ann Lowe Estate Management?" Every eye at the table shifted between us. "Yes," I said. "I run the company, and I have been doing it for years." No one spoke. The reality hit them harder than any insult could. My father had spent decades defining me, and now, in one simple statement, I redefined myself. The truth had a way of revealing itself. Chloe squeezed my hand. I smiled down at her. "Yes, baby. This is the woman you call Mommy. This is who she really is." The rest of the evening passed in stunned silence. Jonathan shook my hand, impressed, confirming everything I had built. My father could only sit, watching, powerless. Gloria appeared at the door with a newspaper in hand, quietly observing the chaos she had predicted. I finished the evening knowing that for the first time in years, I was recognized, respected, and free. The family table had finally reflected the reality I had created for myself, not the one they wanted to define. And that was the last Thanksgiving I allowed my parents to define me. That night, I went home to my daughter, held her close, and for the first time in years, I was proud, not humiliated, not overlooked. I had won my own life.